when you write a SQL query, the data which is in the object, which is not deleted, only the data will be fetched. But I want to fetch even the deleted records. How do you fetch deleted records? Now, if you want to fetch deleted records, there is a keyword called all rows. Look at the story. I am deleting few records. Now, look at the number of records we have in the object. We had 14 records in the object. Right. Chalo. So we have the following records here. How many records we had here? We had 15 records. But I want to fetch all the records. The records which are deleted still in the object. When a record is deleted, how long the record is going to be in the object? For 15 days they are going to be in the object. Select count name from all rows. When I say all rows, not execute yet. Okay. Go to debug. List of account all. Dot debug. Account dot sets. So how many records we got here? 25. Actually in the object how many records we have? 15. So what about the remaining 10 records? They are deleted, but still they are in the object. That means is deleted equal to true. The moment you keep is deleted equal to true, what happened? Record is deleted, but still they are in the object. Now you want to get only deleted records. When I say all rows, all the records including the deleted records we are getting. I don't want all the records, I want only deleted records. If you want only deleted records, account where is deleted equal to true. When I say where is deleted equal to true, only deleted records will come. How many deleted records are there? 10. Out of 25, 15 are in the object. Okay, 10 are deleted. When I say all rows, including the records which are deleted. If I want to get only deleted records, I will say is deleted equal to true. Now, whenever any record is deleted, the value of is deleted is kept as true. When the value of is deleted equal to true, that means the record is deleted, but still the record is in the database for 15 days. After 15 days, record will be deleted permanently. So this is one of the keyword we have. What was that? Is deleted all rows. Okay. Now we are going to discuss one of the major topic now in the SQLs, how to fetch related objects. how to write a SQL query and fetch related objects. How to fetch a SQL query and write the related objects. Your child objects, your parent records is the story. Now listen to the context carefully. Look at my requirement. Fetch all the contacts of those accounts whose industry is. Fetch all the contacts of those accounts whose industry is energy. Then what should I do in this case? First query, list of accounts equal account where then get the contacts of these accounts. Select. Where account ID in. If the ID of the account is in that list, boss, whenever two objects are connected by lookup relation and the Salesforce has created the relation, we are always supposed to add ID of the field name. Look at the point. If account and contact objects. Now in the contact, what we have? We have a field. What is the name of the field? Account. What was this field? What was this field? Look up to account. Now who created this field? Who created this field? Salesforce created. Then how do we refer it? If Salesforce created, how we refer it? Account ID. How we refer it? Account ID. If the lookup field is created by the Salesforce, if you are trying to use that field, you are supposed to use field name followed by ID. Suppose, similarly, we have opportunity. Now, what is the field name we had? In the opportunity, we had a field. What is the field? Account. What was that? How do you refer this field now? Why Salesforce created this field? Then we had opportunity. We had opportunity, line item. Opportunity item. Here we had a field. What is the name of the field? Opportunity, which is a lookup to. How do you refer it? Opportunity. Are you clear? If the relation between two objects is created by the Salesforce, if the relation between two objects is created by the Salesforce, then we will refer that field by adding ID after the field name. If the field name is account, we are going to add it as account ID. Are you clear? Now, if it is created by the user, suppose I have a field like this. Who created this company? Now we created. Then how do you refer this field? If it is designed by you, you will call the field name directly. If the field was created by the Salesforce, and if that field is a lookup field, we are going to add ID after the field name. Is that was clear for everyone? Now I told account ID. Now what is that? Contact and account are associated with the lookup. On the contact we have a lookup field. In the lookup field, what will be there? ID of the parent record will be there. So if ID of this account is in that list of accounts, get me this. Now in this query, how many SQL queries came? 2 queries came. Let's do this. Let us see the execution. Look at this. How many SQL queries came? Number of SQL queries that are executed are, number of records that we fetched are 11. Number of SQL queries are 2. Number of records that we fetched are 11. Number of SQL queries are 2. Number of records what we fetched is 2. So in this way, how many records came? How many SQL queries came? 2. Because 2 queries are running separately. Is that was clear? Okay. I hope you got the story. I hope, okay. Right. Now, this is how we got the query. Next one. Fetch all the contacts of those accounts whose phone number is fetch the contacts of all those accounts, of those accounts whose phone number is matching with the contact phone. Account phone number and contact phone number are same, then get those contacts. Now, in this case, you cannot write a query. You want the account phone number and contact phone number to be same. Now, in this case, you cannot write a query like this. You cannot write a query like this. You cannot write a query like this. Why? We can only compare ID in list of S object. We can only compare with the ID field in the list of S object. I can only compare with the ID in the list of S object. I cannot compare with every field you need. I cannot compare with every field you need. I can only compare with the ID of the S object. Now I can only give ID in list of S object. I can only compare with the ID field in the list of S object. I can only compare with the ID in the list of S object. I can only compare with the ID in the list of S object. Are you getting my point? I can only compare with the ID in the list of S object. Then in that case, what should I do? List of put all the phone numbers in a separate list. For account A, then I have phones.add. Get all the phone numbers of those accounts. Get the phone numbers of those accounts. Then write a query. List of contacts equal to select ID comma last name first name from contact where phone in. If you want to compare with any particular field, fetch the data, put it in a separate list, compare in that list. You cannot compare with the list of S object where phone number in list of accounts. You cannot do that. If you want to compare with a particular field, right? If you want to compare with a particular field, take the values of the field, put in a list. Take the values of the field, put in a list, compare with that list. This query I cannot write like this amount. This query I cannot write like this. This I cannot write. It's an error. Why it is an error? Why? I can only compare ID field with list of S object. I cannot compare every field. If you want to compare with a particular field value, now write a separate list, create a separate list, put the value of that field in the list and compare with that list of values. In the list of S object, I can only compare ID in the list of S object. I can only compare ID in the list of S object. I can only compare ID in the list of S object. I can only compare ID in the list of S object. If you want to compare any other field, now put that field value in a separate list. Compare field in that list. I hope you are good with this. Followed up, boss? Everyone has followed this? Clear for everyone?
Yeah, hello, Satish.
Yes.
So can we compare by storing the SOQL query in string?
Now, SOQL will give you what value?
A list of
List.
records.
Then how the string is coming to you? SOQL will give you.
No, basically, yesterday you did you stored.
That is not
SOQL
SOQL query. It's only string. Query should be executed. No. Now, yesterday program was forming a query. After forming a query, when execute, what are you getting? You are getting a list of record. Well, this is the query.
Okay.
This is the query. When you run the query, this is what we are getting. This is the query statement. This is the query statement. That is the query what I formed. When I run that query, I am going to get list of records. Right, boss? Wait for a minute. I'll give exercise for the other people. Meanwhile, you can ask the question. Right. Now,
here in the second question.
let me give the exercise for the people. You can ask the question. 1 minute. Now, fetch all the contacts. Fetch all the contacts. Those users. Fetch all the contacts of those users whose email is matching with the contact emails. Now make an attempt of reading this. Yeah. Now go ahead. What is your query? Online, go ahead with your query.
Yeah, in the second question, fetch all the contacts of the accounts whose phone number match with contact phone you right? So there is nowhere mentioned energy, industry energy. But the condition is you are given in the
previous query.
second one. Yeah.
The first line I copied it. Now what you are supposed to do? First you are supposed to fetch the email IDs of users. Fetch the email IDs of users. Fetch all the email IDs of users. Write the first query.
Is it third question is correct, Satish? Both are contacts are given, I think accounts email, right?
Contacts of those users whose email ID is matching with the contact emails. I can say user emails. The question is right. Contacts of those users whose email ID is matching with contact email. Then what you are supposed to do, first Then can I compare directly with the email field? Here, email in. Can I give it like this? You cannot compare non-ID field with list of S object. So what is the solution you have? List of string email list equal to for user u, then I'm giving user's email is added here. Where email is in the email list. Whenever we are trying to compare non-ID field with the list of S object, it will not work. Whenever we are trying to compare non-ID field with the list of S object, it will not work. So whichever the non-ID field you want to compare, get the values of that field in a separate list, then compare with the list. So this is the context. Then let us move on to the next story. Now if I am doing this, how many SQL queries I am writing here? 2 SQL queries I am writing. When I am doing this, I am writing 2 SQL queries. Boss field which will store ID boss. Non-ID ID field is what? Lookup field, master detail field. Now lookup field or master detail field will store which value? ID of the record. The field which stores ID of the record. Lookup field, master detail field, or ID of the record. These are ID fields. Rest all the fields are non-ID, like number, currency, text, date, time. They're what? Non-ID. The field which hold the ID, which fields will hold the ID of the record? Lookup field, master detail field, or in the record there is a field called ID, which will also hold the ID. These are only 3 fields. Am I right? Any lookup field, any master detail field, and ID field of the record will hold the IDs. Rest of the field will hold values. Okay, Nama? Right, boss? Okay. Okay, come back. Now here we are holding this data. Come back to the next one. Here we are writing 2 queries. Now there is other choice that we have. What is the other choice we have? Here we have parent to child SQL query. Look at this. The first story. I have 2 objects. Now, when you say 2 objects are said to be connected, Amma, we have 2 objects. When I have 2 objects, when you say these 2 objects are connected, when you say these 2 objects are connected, when there is a lookup relation or master detail. When there is a lookup or master detail relation. Now the question is, we are least bothered about whether these objects are standard objects or custom objects. We are least bothered about whether the parent is a standard, whether the child is a standard, parent is a custom, child is a custom. We are least bothered about this. We are least bothered about whether the 2 objects are standard objects or a custom object. What we are interested in is who created the relation. We are not interested on whether they are standard objects or custom objects. What we are interested in is who created the relation. The relation between these two objects is created by Salesforce or user. If user created, it is called custom relation. If Salesforce created, it is called standard relation. If user created, it is called custom relation. Now we are not interested whether it is a standard object or a custom object. We are interested who created the relation. We are not interested whether it is a standard relation or a custom relation. We are interested whether it is a user is a standard relation or a custom relation. Now let us assume the relation is standard relation. Both these objects are connected by standard relation, which Salesforce created the field. In that case, now I am trying to fetch the parent data along with the corresponding childs. They are told fetch the parent data along with the corresponding child records. When I say fetch all the parent record with the corresponding child records, list of parent result equal to list of parent field 1, the field of parent. Select from childs. Whatever the child object name is there, child name, yes. This is how the query is done. Select parent field 1, parent field 2, parent field 3, comma, select child field 1, child field 2 from child name followed by S. Child name followed by S. Whatever the child object name is there, the object name followed by S from parent. Now, account and contact. Who created the relation? Account object and contact object, Salesforce. List of accounts equal to select name, phone, industry, comma, select last name, first name from contacts. From now name of the child is account. Okay, name of the child is contact. So what did I put? Contact followed by next account and opportunity. Select name, stage name, select name, industry, select from opportunity, select name, amount from opportunities, from what I gave, plural form. So if two objects are connected by lookup or master detail, and if the relation was created by the Salesforce, and if the relation was created by the Salesforce, then we are supposed to add plural form to the child object. Is that was clear for everyone? Yeah. This, yeah, I made a mistake. Right, don't type the message, unmute the mic and ask. Okay, now write the query, everyone. Now write a query to fetch account with cases. Now write this. Online, don't type the message, just unmute the mic and ask.
Hi, Satish. So just wanted to check,
One
is it
minute.
similar? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's like a subqueries only, but you are giving a
Yeah.
joints here. It's a joints. Same girl.
Okay, join with the key. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
It's like we are using external relation, internal joins and external joins. If you are doing a database concepts, anybody, then we use internal join and external join, the same concepts we are using here. Now write a query to fetch account with the cases. So let us see how I'm giving. Select name, phone, industry, comma, select status, from cases, from select name, phone, industry, comma, select status, priority from cases. This is how we are able to see name of the account, phone, then you are able to see list of cases. So how did you give? Select name, comma, phone, comma, industry, comma, select status priority from cases. Now you are able to see name, phone, industry, and list of cases. Right. Similarly, what is the query I asked you to form? Group with group member. Select name, type, select group members. Now they are giving role and subordinate, organization. This is basically stores queue, who are the members of the queue, public group, who are the members of the public group. Now you create a concept, right? Queue members, public group members, role members. The type of data we are going to get here. Now we don't have users added to the queue or public group, so it's coming as a blank. Okay. Now what was that? Select name, comma, type, comma, select group ID from group member. This is very helpful to you in assignment tools. Programmatically, you want to assign the owner of the record. Assign the owner as a queue. Get the members of the queue. Remove the access. There, this query is going to be helpful to you. Group with group members. The next one. What is the next one we had? Product name, product family, then select price book entry, unit price, price book, so you got product, select unit price. Look at this. Products, price book entries. products, price book entry. Product, price book entry. I have unit price and standard list. List price is also not there. What is the other price? Okay. Now, what was the concept here? Product with the corresponding price book entry. One product may be a part of number of price book entries. So all these are what? Parent-child relation. Parent-child relation. Here, one of the frequently used concept here is opportunity. In the opportunity, we got products. Look at the point. New opportunity created. Then new opportunity is created. What do you mean by opportunity? Somebody is showing interest on your products to purchase. Somebody is showing interest on your products to purchase. They are interested to purchase your product. Now, if my company made a call to you and I told I require 4 laptops and 3 mobiles, because of these laptops and mobiles only, your company is going to get a revenue. I am not going to give 1 lakh rupee free of cost. I am interested to purchase some of your products. If I purchase those products, your company may get revenue. Now, what products my company want to purchase? Now, I showed an interest, boss. I am showing interest to purchase the following products. Select. Then how many quantity? 5. See. I told I am interested to purchase the following, but I need 5 diesel 1000 watts. Okay, I need 3 10 watts. I need 2 200 watts. Because I am showing interest to purchase this from you, you are getting an opportunity of 5,65,000 rupees. The 5,65,000 rupees opportunity is coming to you because I am interested to purchase the following products. Are you getting my point? When you go to a bill store, they ask you to pay 3,000 rupees. When you go to a supermarket, they ask you to pay 3,000 rupees. 3,000 rupees is paid for what? Product 1, quantity 2, product 2, quantity 3, product 4, quantity 4. All items what you purchase together, this is the bill. Alright? Now I am giving an opportunity. Now Kaplan 4 told, boss made a call to Apple and told I require 3 MacBooks and 2 iPhones. Okay, Kaplan 4 made a call to Apple and told I am looking for 3 MacBooks and 2 iPhones. Because of this, amount will be generated to Apple. So Apple will create opportunity from Kaplan 4 solution of 4 lakh rupees because of the product 1, MacBooks 3 and cost is 3 lakhs. Okay, iPhones 2 cost is 1 lakh. So all together it's a 4 lakhs. So opportunity is coming because of these products. Because any company will give you money because they are interested to purchase some service from you. There may be a product or there may be a service. Any company is going to pay you money because of the service what you provide. Now what is the service I was looking for? Maybe a product or a service. Now what is the products I am purchasing? These are the products. Right. Now this is opportunity. The opportunity amount is contributed by following products. Opportunity amount is contributed by following products. These products are called opportunity line items. What do we call it as? Opportunity line items. Opportunity line items. Opportunity line list of products which are contributing to the opportunity are called opportunity line items. What is the internal object? Opportunity line items. Whatever the products you selected here, they are internally stored in opportunity line items. So go back here and make a query. These are the frequently used queries. Select name, stage name, comma, select product name. We have a product name or product ID. Any one will be there. It's okay. Unit price from unit price, quantity, select name, unit price, quantity from opportunity line. I'll take a particular record so that you understand. We just now we created this record. So only for the particular item I added the operational items. Look at this. Admin, need analysis. Then we add data. Operational item 1, Genovat diesel 200K. Are you getting my point? Opportunity with opportunity item. These queries are very, very frequently used. What are those queries? Again, I give the list. These are very frequently used queries. You should be very strong with these queries. These are very frequently used. You should be very strong with this.
Okay.
1 minute.
I have some doubt.
1 minute. 1 minute. To finish up this. Once again, we'll try to practice these queries. Now, account with list of contacts. Now, once again, write this query summa. Account with list of operations. Now, people make an attempt of writing all these queries once again. Don't write the questions, sir. Write the answers. Right. Yes, Amma. Online, go ahead. Meanwhile, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah. So how can I know like the name, like from which name I need to fetch query? For an example, opportunity line items. So have you know like the name is opportunity line items?
That we have to get through the functionality only.
Okay, functionality. Okay, so does it mention somewhere means, like for example, if I form one query from account, then from a subject list, we can write means that query, but this opportunity line item, this word, have you know means from which I need to fetch this record. Sorry?
Based on the CRM functionality, I have come to know this opportunity item.
CRM functionality. Okay.
Hi, Satish. So,
Yes.
will this apply to any of those child items? So, for any, say, for example, in case wherever I can add child records, right? For a case wherever I can have add multiple values. So, for that, I can do this as well.
This is
Like
fetching the
opportunity
data.
line.
This is for fetching the data, not for inserting the data.
Right.
It is fetching already inserted
Okay.
data. Whatever the data already there in the database, that we are trying to fetch it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so for a case wherever I have like if you go online or any of the objects, standard objects, where I have for one ID, where I have multiple rows, right? Like a parent and child,
Mhm.
to fetch it as well. Is this the way we do?
Yes.
Or okay, okay. So opportunity line item, I should be able to see in the objects. Uh, and see where you see all the fields, right? Over there, will we be able to see this as well?
You need to
Like
go to the
a
objects and check it out. You need to go to
objects.
you need to go to the object
Okay.
documentation and check it out. Because
Okay.
some of the objects will not be seen. You will not be able to see this
Uh-huh.
object directly on the UI. So we need to go to the documentation, classic what fields are there. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. For the standard objects, right? For the objects
Yeah.
which is
Yes.
provided by Salesforce. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now I am giving only few fields. If you want to see the other fields of the object, go to the corresponding object documentation and check it out. Basically, it's a now whatever the fields I know I am putting up. You want to see the rest of the fields, go to the object, find out what all the rest of the fields are there.
Right. Okay. Okay. So, but there's no way through SQL, like through queries, how we can get the metadata. There is no way
No.
how I can see it.
There is no SQL.
All the set of fields.
No.
Okay.
There is a schema programming which is available
Mm-hmm.
through which you find schema programming is there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
So suppose filling the query always to write the plural form.
Come again? Come again, Amma? I will get it. Come again?
In child query, always need to write plural form contacts, opportunities, spaces.
No. There are a lot of noise is coming back. I'm not getting it. Could you repeat the question?
Just I'll type the message.
This is for standard object. For custom object, we have a different relation again. Now, whatever I'm discussing right now, if the relation was created by Salesforce, if it was created by the user, there's a different story. I will discuss after this. If it is a standard relation, we are supposed to add yes after the child name. If the relation is standard, then only we use this. So remember these queries well. This will be helpful to you. At least you understand the relation exists between this account to contact, account to opportunities, account to cases, account to orders, account to account team member, group with the group member, opportunity with opportunity item, product with the product with the price book entry. You can also try account with the tasks. Account with the events. Just identify those objects. try this. Okay. So this is when one way you use this, when two objects are connected to each other by using a standard lookup relation. What if the relation is a custom relation? This is not a standard relation, this is a custom relation. What if it is a custom relation? Okay. What if this is a custom relation? Everyone is done, Amma? I'll paste it on your account. I'll paste it on your account. Listen here. Now, what if this is a custom relation? This is not a standard relation. Now I told you the point. We are least bothered whether they are standard objects or custom objects. What we are worried is who created the relation. Now the relation is custom relation. Both objects are connected by a custom relation. If both the objects are connected by a custom relation, list of parent result equal to parent field 1. Select from child, the child object name S underscore underscore R. The child object name followed by S underscore underscore R from. If the relation was a custom relation, now it is going to be S underscore underscore R. We are supposed to append S underscore underscore R. We are supposed to append S underscore underscore R. We are supposed to append S underscore underscore R. We are supposed to append S underscore underscore R. Are you getting my point? Okay. Look at the story now. Go to the object, accounts, let us say accounts and payment. Okay. You are student and payment. There is a relation between student and payment. Who created this relation? This relation was created by user. It is not the standard relation, user. So we have name, phone, fee, mode and amount. Okay. Then now I am going to write a query. Look at this query. Select phone, select mode, amount from events underscore underscore R from name of the object is payment. So payment S underscore underscore R. Right amount. So execute the query. Now we are getting the data here. Name, phone, fee, payments underscore underscore R. Is that was clear for everyone? Right? So name, phone, fee, we are getting a list of payment. Name, phone, fee, list of payments. Name, phone, fee, list of payments. If the relation was created by the user, then we are going to have underscore underscore R. Now, let me define the same story here. On account object, I am creating a relation here. Lookup relation. I'm going to make student. Who is the parent? Who created the relation? User created the relation. On which object? Account object. Right. Now go to account. Here we have student. This is what we got. Now, student is the parent, account is the child. Then still how you write the query now? Now it doesn't matter to us whether it is a standard object or a custom object. What matters to us is, okay, who created the relation. What matters to us is who created the relation. Select name of the student, phone, name, phone, from accounts underscore R. From why accounts underscore R? Because the relation between these two objects is created by the user. If the relation between two objects is a custom relation, then we are supposed to go with a child object followed by S underscore R. Execute. Look at this, Prasad. There are two records. Ready Labs. Right, Amma? I hope you are good with this. So it is, we are not interested whether the relation was, whether it is a standard object or a custom object. What we are interested is who created the relation. If the lookup field between these two objects is standard one, if the lookup field between these two objects is standard one, then yes. If it is a custom one, underscore R. Yes, underscore R. Is that was clear for everyone? Now, try to write the query here. I hope everybody followed this. Write a query there. Now, write a query to get this data. Now write these three queries. From loans, contacts. So we are least interested on whether they are standard objects or custom objects. If the relation was a custom relation, that is going to be contacts underscore underscore R. Right, boss? Is the was clear for everyone? Right? Is the was clear for everyone? So it doesn't matter whether it is a standard object or a custom object. If the relation is custom relation S underscore underscore R. Then one more quick point here. I hope everybody followed these points. The 14th one, write a SQL query, all the accounts with contacts, opportunities. Can I write everything in a single query? List of account. I'll execute and I'll show you the point. List of account. Contacts. Select. So what happened here? Select select account, contact, opportunity cases. Opportunity cases. Now, if I run this, how many queries they are going to consider? They are going to consider this as how many queries? One query. Previous, if I implement like a previous one, how many queries are coming? It is to be 3 queries. Now, total number of records equal to total number of accounts plus total number of contacts plus total number of opportunities and cases. Count will be all, but number of queries are 1. The same query, if I am executing like this, let us see. The same query, if I execute like a previous one, how did I write the previous queries? List of account. If I run this, now it is running like how many queries? 3 different queries. But with respect to parent child circle query, I got like a single query. Now how many queries are running here? 3 queries. Now there is a limit for number of circle queries. Within a transaction, number of circle queries, how many we can write? There is a 100 limit. Now if some limit is coming, it is easy for me to reduce the limit by going with a parent to child circle query. When I write a parent to child circle query, it will give you like a single one. How many queries are running? Single query is running. How many queries are running? Single query is running. Is that was clear? So what was that? Trying to fetch a list of parent record with the corresponding child record. Trying to fetch a list of parent record with the corresponding child records. Is that was clear for everyone? Right? Is that was clear for everyone?
Hello, Satish.
Yeah.
So here transaction means whenever we perform execute, that is considered as transaction.
Yeah, we see, basically, here transaction means when you invoke a method, the method is a transaction. Now here in the anonymous window I wrote it, but practically how do you invoke it? You invoke everything from a method only, no? From a method or from a trigger. Okay. So the event which you fired, you will call a transaction. When you invoke a method, it's a transaction. When you call a method, it's a transaction. Within the method, how many methods are running? We are not interested. When you call a method, it is a transaction. Right, Amma?
Hello, Satish. For suppose if a class have like 100 methods, then we will consider as 100 transactions whenever we execute that particular class.
Again, I repeat the point. It is not the class which is a transaction. It is a method what you call is a transaction. Now there are class contain 100 methods, and when you click on a button, one method is called. Within that method, 99 methods are called. All together is now one transaction. Did you get my point? You call a method. Within that method there are 100. Okay, within that method there are 100 methods, but still it's only one transaction. When you invoke a functionality, let me give you this. I call me. So I call. Now within the show method, now we have source. But now how many transactions invoked? One transaction. The show is what? You call show. It is a transaction. Within the transaction, how many methods are running? It is not. It is not based on the methods. When you fire an event, when you perform an action, when you fire an event, it is a transaction. When you fire an event, it is a transaction. Is that was clear for everyone? Right. So within that method, within the transaction, it is 100. When I say 100, all these together, number of circle queries should be 100. Now when I say 30 methods are called in show, all the 30 method circle queries together, it should be 100. Okay. We will be discussing that point, transaction limiter, the governing limits examples. Okay. As somebody has asked me the question, I just told, transaction is the event what you fired is a transaction. Right, Emma? Is that was clear?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Satish.
Right. That's all from my end. We'll continue in the next session. Tomorrow integration class, people who are attending the integration class of 126, tomorrow class is there. People who are attending 126 batch integration. People who are already attending the 126 batch integration, tomorrow class is at 7:30.
Satish.
Before you come, everything will be covered. Don't worry. Yeah.